All right, so today I wanted to share something that I think is very important for us to take a closer look at. And it's really an aspect of understanding the different levels of existence or being. Because at this moment, the majority of the world functions from the level of mind, which is the thinking mind. We can use the word mind in different ways. And when I use the word mind, I generally use the word as the thinking mind. But right now, today, I'm going to be speaking about it at a bigger level. Basically, you could say everything is mind, God's mind or life's mind, universal mind, whatever you want to call it, you know. But there's different levels of it. And I'm going to be comparing it as well with this model that we have. And most of you who have seen Mr. Keshe's work will have seen this model here, which is the magnetic coil and then inside of it the gravitational coil, and showing some comparisons to the different levels of mind that we speak of. At this moment, the majority of people in the world think that they are the thinking mind. In other words, the voice, the monkey mind, the voices in their head, the one that is verbalizing everything, that's thinking of it in words and in images and in sounds in a way. And that mind is what is called in our more Western world, especially in the world of hypnosis, is called the conscious mind. And below that mind you have the subconscious mind, and below the subconscious you have the unconscious mind. And in a way, that's what I'm going to be speaking today about, this almost what you could call Holy Trinity. In the Bible, they speak of it. I don't refer to it like that, you know, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Ghost. I don't use that analogy, but probably it has similarities as well. But today I'm going to be speaking of it in a different way. And I want to demonstrate something. And I want to demonstrate the profundities of life. Because at this moment, the society only acknowledges one level of mind, really. And that is the conscious mind. People believe that who they are, think that who they are, is all that voicing up in the head, right? Let's say for a moment it's in your head. And that's not really who we are. That's not all we are. And that's a very important aspect for the evolution of humanity, to get into the next realms of existence. So if we look at hypnosis, for example, you'll find that in hypnosis, they basically refer to two minds, not three, but two, but at least it's the second one, which is the subconscious mind. So they say the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, is much more deep. And why is that? You could compare this to computers. And in many ways, it is like a computer. The conscious mind can be compared to basically a computer that works at about 10,000 bits per second. That's a fast computer. It can process 10,000 bits per second. That's why we can do a couple of things that are pretty impressive. But then the subconscious mind is a computer that can process up to 4 million bits per second. And this is just a comparison. I don't know the exact numbers, but in Psych K, for example, you can check that on the internet, really interesting as well. Psych K, they go into reprogramming your subconscious mind, which is what they do in hypnosis. They get to the deeper parts of your mind. Now that's the mind that is working at 4 million bits per second. It can process infinite amounts, it seems, compared to the 10,000 bits of the conscious mind. However, at this moment, most people believe themselves to be the conscious mind, the 10,000 bits per second computer, which obviously is much, much slower than the 4 billion, right, processor. And so you'll see that your digestion, your blood cells, your oxygen in your breathing, your heartbeat, your hair growing, your skin regenerating, your bones regenerating, your livers and your kidneys, and everything that's going on right now, including sitting here and balancing myself, the speaking, the voicing, the memory of all that I've learned, the capacity to speak, all of that comes from the subconscious mind. And the conscious mind is only that voicing, that thoughts in the head, which basically most people are now suffering from, because it's become the god of our world. It's what we learn in school to use, the conscious mind. We basically neglect the subconscious mind, and we completely neglect the unconscious mind. So what is so important about this? Well, basically if you look at the bits per second capacity of both computers, you'll see that it's exponential. And it's much like what you see in the coil system that Mr. Keshe speaks about. In this coil system that Mr. Keshe speaks about, let me put it on this side here. He basically shows you that you have the magnetic spiral and you have the gravitational spiral. And basically if you dissect here on this level of the outer coil, this one I've drawn here, you'll see that this will be considered 1 bit, let's say, right? 1 bit. This is a capacity of 1. When you go back into the spiral, deeper within, into the silence and stillness of what you really are, you reach the subconscious mind, which I drew here as 1 million bits per second. So we went from 1 to 1 million. And then when you go one more full circle back inside, you'll come to the unconscious mind, which is functioning at 1 trillion bits per second. So this is a normal computer, this is a supercomputer, and this is a super duper computer, if you wish, right? It works incredibly fast. And the point I'm making is this: we are all of it, and it goes further than the trillions and unconscious mind. It goes even deeper than that. But as we are now, it's most important for us to move into the space of the next level, which is the subconscious, you could say, which is a much faster computer, much more able to work at things. So what you'll notice if you see the gurus or the enlightened people of this planet, whether it was in the past Buddha and Jesus and Krishna and all these people, or Muhammad and the prophets and those people, if you wish, or the people that live today, like Eckhart Tolle and Mooji and Barry Long. Well, Barry has passed away, but Mooji and Eckhart Tolle and Jeff Foster and Satguru and people like that who speak of this profound, Rupert Spira, the mystics, the enlightened ones, if you wish. There's no mystery about what they are, where they come from, what they're doing. What they're really doing and where they're at is they're at this level. They've gone from the conscious mind out here working at, let's say, 1 bit per second, which is the mental mind, which is basically 10,000 bits per second, and they've gone back into the depths of themselves and surrendered and gave up and gone deeply within the level where they're now functioning from the subconscious mind, which is 1 million bits per second. And some of them have even gone deeper. If you speak of people like, you have, for example, Papaji, or I always forget his name, but anyway, Ramana Maharshi. They've gone so deep, right, that they are so surrendered and so serene that they've left the more slow capacities, the more slow computer programs behind, and they've drawn back into the silence, into the stillness of what they truly are, deep within the depths of themselves. So when we're speaking about evolving, of course, free energy devices, making food and medicine out of plasmatic fields, it's all great. But what we really have to understand is that the attention, the awareness of what we are, can actually go back and shed its structures, shed its knowing, its really arrogance, that all there is this voicing, chattering monkey mind, parroting all day about everything it already knows, and surrender to that still, silent, unknowing but deeply knowing place within. That place which basically, remember, if you do know what Mr. Keshe spoke about, basically he was saying to give up is to remove this magnetic level. And as you keep removing this magnetic level, by surrender, by going within, the real true meaning of meditation, when you surrender, become still, and become the silence within, you basically are shedding this magnetic shield that you have around you, and therefore exposing the gravitational level, which pulls onto you all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all that you truly are. So you expose the gravitational field by removing the magnetic. This is the knowing part. The magnetic part around it is that part which people, the arrogance, the intellectual, the mental, the concepts and belief systems that clutter the mind, that basically cover over the depths of what we truly are. And therefore, the capacity to be still, silent, to be loving, to be compassionate, to be joyous and blissful, and to recognize that everybody around you, the entire universe, is one with you because you're it and it is you. That capacity is lost when this mental chatter covers over this beautiful still place. So as you go and become still, this magnetic shield coil that covers over the capacity to really see, to really know, to really be silent and still and surrendered, that disappears. When that magnetic level disappears, you just become more still and you enjoy a deeper place of existence. Not a place that's a fantasy, not a theory, not my words, not the books that we read and all that. I mean the literal letting go of you as the concepts. What you know, what you think the world consists of, who is controlling the world, who's not controlling the world, how physics works, how all these things work. All the concepts are basically mud that clutter the capacity to see things as they are. And to see things as they are means to have this magnetic field removed so that the gravitational can just allow everything to be. So we have the conscious mind, and that's why people, want to stop smoking or something. They throw away their pack of cigarettes in the end of the year, New Year's, and they're, I'm going to stop. Well, that's the conscious mind speaking, right? I'm going to stop smoking. I'm never going to smoke again. Well, by midday on January 1st, they've bought themselves a pack of cigarettes again, if not more, and they're smoking again. Why? Because the subconscious mind, the deeper mind, is dictating what they are going to do, because it's working at 4 billion bits per second, and the conscious, superficial, blabbering monkey mind is only functioning at 10,000 bits per second. So the way to go for us to really evolve is for us to surrender, to be still. Be still and know that I am God. That's what apparently Jesus would have said, or should have said. And that means be still, remove this magnetic know-how, know-all stuff, this cluttering superficial mind concepts, belief structures, religions, and all the nonsense that works from the level of the 10,000 bits mind, the conscious mind level, and remove it and be still and know that I am also the entire spiral going deeper and deeper and stiller within. So I'll go into it a little bit more, but because this video is turning a bit long and some people don't enjoy that, I'm going to cut it off here and I'll make a second part for those who would like to hear more about it. But basically, to summarize it all, we are not just the conscious thinking, blabbering monkey mind. The mind which has been taught to us in school, which is supposed to now be the most momentous point we've reached in existence, that humans are so intelligent because they have this thinking mind. The thinking mind is an incredible limitation. It's the 10,000 bits per second super slow processor, and when you let go, when you surrender, you become still and silent, and you start gravitating towards the deeper levels of being. The levels which don't use the voicing, which don't use the thinking, but which use this deep knowing. This Gnostic knowledge just arises, and you inherently know things about the universe, like things that I'm speaking about now, without any books or without anybody telling you anything, because you just surrender and you go back deeply within and you go to the deeper realms. And like I said, it's exponential. You go from 1 to 1 million to 1 trillion. Each spiral that you deepen inside, that you still the mind. But you have to be able to leave behind that conscious mind. Which means, that's why people say in meditation, stop thinking. You don't really have to stop thinking. All you have to really know is that you actually are this deeper being. This more infinite, more eternal creature within, this being of energy and life, that doesn't need to always voice in the words, in the concepts, and in the head jabbering and talking all the time. And that when you actually do that, know that you're that. The voicing and the monkey mind doesn't matter that much anymore. It doesn't matter any much more, because you can hear it on the periphery, on the outside coil, chattering away about what he thinks it's all about, but you are this still, this silent being, this surrender, this serene, peaceful, loving, compassionate, this deeply joyous, well-being, emanating without a single thought. Breathing, smelling, hearing, seeing, sensating, totally alive. Here and now. That's why Ramana Maharshi would sit for hours and without speaking. Why? Because his body was scintillating with beauty and joy and love and compassion. The well-being, the knowing that you are life itself at a much more profound level than the chattering mind. That's really what it's about. That's when you take and you give up, you give away, you surrender, you give away this magnetic knowing and surrender to the more deeply, this more deep, profound state where everything that you need to know actually comes to you. And you're surrendered and serene. And this is why the masters, the gurus, the real teachers, the ones who have surrendered themselves, either by accident because of something in their life or by profound meditation and doing all these practices, finally, when they have shedded enough of this magnetic shield around them, they become beautifully gravitational and life just abounds around them and they're still and silent and happy and joyous and blissful. Surrendered in a deeper state. And we are all that. We all have it. But at this moment, the majority of people on this planet have this crusty, old, magnetic shield of knowing, this know-all stuff. Mental aberrations, clutter of the mind, concepts and ideas, infinite amounts of theories and stuff. And it keeps regurgitating like a cow chewing its cud over and over, the same know-how. Nobody's got anything original. But that's why the people who do have something original are the ones who have left that realm and gone deeper within into the more profound, infinite levels of being, which go deeper and deeper and deeper as you get stiller and stiller and stiller.